Good evening, one and all, and welcome to Hotel Cockerel. It's me, Jose, Mop Up Show on a Thursday evening. A little disclaimer for some of you that are in the WhatsApp groups. um, I've put a message in there to say that I've brought this show forward by 24 hours and 24 hours and half an hour. So 1 day and half an hour. And the reason why I brought it forward was quite plainly what I said in my message to everyone. The reason why I brought the show forward is because I know already that tomorrow there's going to be a meltdown, a breakdown within people, within the fan base. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I can't be asked to go through people's breakdowns and that tomorrow evening. Um, Everyone's going to be all about um, the transfer window, and it's just everyone's just going to go absolutely Garrity tomorrow night. So I thought to myself, I'm going to avoid that, and in order to avoid that, I've brought the show forward by 24 hours. So if you're here, still watching, because I know a couple of people came in and messaged earlier, but if you're still here watching, then welcome, and that's the reason why I've changed this show. So with that being said, Adrian says, good evening, Jose and Etal. Grant is saying, good evening, ladies and gents. I think Grant must be on a night shift, if that's what he's saying. I don't know what to make of Johnny Bethnal Green's comment. It says, Arat Salde on Jose and Spurs doohards. I'm not too sure what Johnny Bethnal Green means there, or whether he's got sausage fingers whilst he was typing. Graham says, good evening, Jose, and all in the chat. Good evening, Graham. I've said that it would be good if people smash a like on the way in, as it all helps. Tony says, good evening, Jose, and good evening to all in the chat. Good evening, Tony. Really good show that I did with Tony on Only Does Football on Monday. I think that people should give it a view. It makes interesting viewing. Um, all about how I became a Tottenham fan. I was asked a lot of deep questions. Um, who else you got? You got Adrian saying, if you love Spurs and hate Arsenal, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and please leave a comment. Region is also to go, and we are most likely done in this transfer window. What I like, Adrian, right? What I like about everything you do is that you take all your information from all the in the knows, because that's what the in the knows are saying at the moment. They're saying exactly that. It gets Region also the ones, the last ones to do, and that were likely to be done. And that's what all the aggregators are saying now. So, right. So if I go back to the beginning of the week, because today's Thursday. So if I go back to the beginning of the week, at the beginning of the week, if you follow all these in the know people who are putting stories out there, it's down to, we knew the outgoings, but we're still bringing another player in. We're still working on another player. We're still bringing another player in. Um, but now the aggregators are saying it looks like it's just Lo and Region to go, and we're most likely done. I mean, I haven't really looked, to be honest. I haven't really looked because I've been busy working, so I haven't really looked much at Shitter this week, because Shitter is like, it's the worst place in the world, because everyone's got a different story to tell you, and yeah, I avoid it. I don't comment on them much, so I avoid it. And they're now saying that a youngster from Germany failed failed a medical. No one else has. No, I haven't heard anyone from Tottenham say this, but you've got aggregators that are saying, or the in the knows and all that, saying that a youngster failed uh, a medical that was due to come to Tottenham. A centre, but I think he's a centre half, the 20-year-old centre half. It might even been from Borussia Dortmund. I'm not too sure, but yeah, at the end of the day, nothing's come out yet. It'll be interesting tomorrow. It'll be interesting tomorrow, because tomorrow what will happen is Ange will give a press conference tomorrow for pre the match against Newcastle, and in that we might get a little bit more information about what's going on and stuff like that, or what's happened, what injuries we may or may not have. You know, that'll come out tomorrow in the presser. Just before we carry on, let me see where I am. You've got Mr. Shear with a super chat saying, best channel, thank you, Cobber. No worries whatsoever. And there's a few more people that have joined. And as I said, the reason, what I've put in the groups that people know, in the groups I put down, the reason why I'm doing this show tonight is to avoid the mental breakdowns and meltdowns that are going to happen tomorrow. So that's why I thought to myself, I'll bring this forward by 24 hours, do the show today. And what then that means, that tomorrow, instead of doing two shows, I've only got the prediction show on at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Saturday morning, it's already posted out there, but I won't post the link till nearer the time. But Saturday morning, we have a members call-in show, and it's at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. I've done that so we can have our Australian sponsors can then make an appearance on Saturday because yeah, I want to do shows when they can appear as well. And one of them is sponsored the show already tonight, which is David. So yeah, and on Sunday we have who do we have on Sunday? On Sunday we've got Ellie and Ash with their show at 9 o'clock in the morning. So they're going to do their Sunday show, but instead of doing it at 11, they're doing it at 9 in the morning because a lot of the big channels will start doing their pump ups for the Newcastle game at 11. So they're going to go on 2 hours before these pump ups, and they're going to have their own show and pump up to the Newcastle game on Sunday morning. And then on Monday at 4 o'clock, I will do the results show for the predictions from this weekend. So that's the lineup that we've got coming up. So we've got Graham is saying to me, Jose, it will be what it will be, mate. Nothing we can do to influence it, so no point worrying. Johnny Vasco's explained to me that okay, so it's a Basque good evening. So he said good evening to me and Adrian in Basque. Daniel's here. Hi Daniel, I hope you're well. I'm not sure whether you're working or you're not or you finished work, but nice to see you anyway. Graham says, if we do bring someone in tomorrow, my money is on no one we expect. Smithy Smith is here saying, Senor Jose, my man, good evening, Smithy Smith. I hope you're well, sir. Paul G is here. He says, evening, Jose, in the chat. Ben Kaufman, good evening, Ben. Says, evening, everyone, cue the meltdown. Hence why I've just said I'm going 24 hours earlier by doing this show because at the end of the day, you can see it's already there. It's already people are already sharpening the knives and putting the chalk on the queue, and you know everyone they're getting ready. They're getting ready. They're putting the flights on their darts, ready to throw them. People are already getting ready. So in the end of the day, I thought I'd come early because then like that we ain't got a problem at all. You've got who else we got here? Bring on tomorrow night, Jose, Friday night football. By your comment there, Grant, I can only guess that you must be playing tomorrow. I think you must be on a night shift at the moment, but by your comment, I can only think that you're playing tomorrow. God forbid if they put you on a different team to me, because tomorrow I'm not playing the first game. I've decided not to play the first game, so tomorrow I will be running and ready to go. And if you're not on the same team as me and you're coming to foul me tomorrow, I'm gonna run into you tomorrow big time. So be careful. Spurs Die Hard says the only concern are the reports of VDV doubtful to play against Newcastle. Like I said, Adrian, with all this tomorrow, Ange will give his press conference. It's interesting because yesterday, on YouTube, there's a video released by Tottenham about the people that had been training or the training day. Now, the video was released yesterday, right? Now, whether that was training from yesterday or training from the day before, I don't know because it doesn't tell you that, it just shows the training. Now, the video admittedly did come out later on, and it came out in the afternoon yesterday, right? But when the video came out, obviously there's people that are missing in that video. So now you can see players. You can't see all 25, 26 players, but some people have jumped on that Solanke wasn't seen in it, VDV wasn't seen in it, and Richarlison wasn't seen in it. So it'd be interesting tomorrow because I don't know whether that was Tuesday or yesterday's, but today there was no footage from Tottenham Hotspur, so there was no video today. So, nobody knows what's going on. But tomorrow we will be told exactly tomorrow what the score is with the players, uh, who's available and who isn't available for the game against Newcastle on Sunday. And like I said, with the window shutting tomorrow, I don't think we're going to hear any of the stories tomorrow. But you've got no doubt that all the aggregators and a load of people will be all talking about what they believe happened or didn't happen throughout this window, and all the stories will start coming out. Whether they come from Tottenham or not, regardless, but stories will come out saying, "Well, we bid 80 million for this person and he didn't want to come to us," or we went in for this person and we didn't offer enough, or the club wanted this, you'll hear all the stories come Saturday. It won't be tomorrow, but it'll come Saturday. All the stories will start coming out. Good job that we haven't got a game next week, because it'll be international week, and because it goes quiet in the world when it's international week, you'll have every story under the sun being delivered as from tomorrow. As from tomorrow, all the stories will be delivered, and then we'll know from there what may or may not have happened. You have Paul G saying, hoping people sound like each other. I've just realised David Shear has gifted a membership, and it's gone to Perchi on loan at Espanyol. But then I can see further down that David Shear has made a comment to Paul G that he was looking to uh, he was looking to he was hoping that Paul G would have got it, and lo and behold, David then issued and has done another one, and it's gone to Paul G. So Paul G has been gifted a membership as well as Perchi from David Shear. I know that Paul's already in the chat, and Paul has already saying thank you to David. So it's much appreciated. Thank you very much, David. David Shear says a left back is badly needed. Well, all it's interesting because if the rumours are true, which I don't know whether they are or not, because we haven't heard it from Tottenham yet. But if the rumours are true about VDV, then it does kind of say to us that a lot of us were saying that we need. I was saying, and a lot of people have been saying, that we need a left-sided centre back, or that can play left back as well. So we've got cover for a Doggy and Van der Ven. Instead of having to rely on Spence covering right and left, but then having no one to cover left centre back. Well, if Van der Ven is out injured, then it just proves the point that we definitely needed that position. What's interesting, and as I said, we don't know nothing. We're not going to find out till tomorrow at the earliest from Ange when he does his presser. But if VDV is out, then it would be interesting, because Ben, you were at the game, and I don't know anyone else in the chat that can see was at the game on Saturday. But when Van der Ven went down from that challenge, I thought to myself, I then saw Dragusin straight away getting stripped and ready, and I thought to myself, because it was at the other end to where I was, because I was in the south stand, so it was at the other end, and I thought to myself, wow, he's badly injured himself. But then he got up and played on, and at half time I called into Jacob's channel at half time. I went on there, and I spoke about the Van der Ven incident and said, he looked like he was really badly injured, but he's played on till half time. And Jacob said to me that when they did the slow motion of it, he said that his knee, you could see that his knee hyperextended, and that, well, his knee may have hyperextended, but Van der Ven then played the whole of the second half. And you also had that absolutely amazing run from Van der Ven where he set up Sonny's second goal, our fourth. So, it's just going to be absolutely, yeah, it's not a good look if he is injured. And, we haven't gone and strengthened on the left-hand side, because then it will mean that Dragusin comes in. And the comments that have been made about Dragusin and about him having to learn more of the game and stuff like that, I'm not sure. Yeah, well, we may have to adapt the way we play, and it sounds silly for me to say that, but we may have to adapt the way we play because you know, at the end of the day, if we're going to play this high line football that we do play, then we've got the recovery pace of Mickey van der Ven. Now, I'm going to say that Romero's no slouch. Romero's no slouch, but he's no Mickey van der Ven in pace either. So, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, we might have to adapt the way we play. If Van der Ven's not there, is all I'm going to say. I think that might happen. Paul G says, I was in Cornwall last week, Ben. Hope you've enjoyed it. Paul G says, save Jose's legs. I think that's from the comment about playing football. There was David's comment about he wanted Paul G to get the membership to switch it on. Ronnie's here. Good evening, Ronnie. I hope you're well, sir. Paul G is telling us that he's got family in St. Ives. I was telling Ben he's got family in St. Ives, and it's a lovely chill spot. David Williams is here. Good evening, David Williams. I hope you are well, sir. Says evening, Jose, in the chat. Graham says, I don't want to disappoint everyone, but I was not on the training video, so guess I'm not playing Sunday. Gutted. Paul G saying thank you very much to David. David Williams. Jose, when are you doing the predictions, mate? So the prediction shows are every Friday at 4 o'clock, David. Or Dave. Dave. So tomorrow, the predictions show will be at 4 o'clock when we do the predictions live on the show. On Saturday, I've got a members show at 10 in the morning. So anything that falls out or comes out of tomorrow, when after the transfer window's closed, members can call in on Saturday and have their say about anything they want, and that's at 10 o'clock in the morning. On Sunday, you've got Ash and Ellie doing a ladies takeover show, but they're doing it slightly early because they're going to do a pre-match pump up as well. So that's what they're doing on 9 o'clock on Sunday, and then the results show for the predictions, Fantasy Premier League and Predict the Prem are all on Monday at 4 o'clock, but the prediction show is normally on a Friday. And what I will say for you guys that are in here at the moment is that unlike Predict the Prem, so we're just predicting Premiership games, and that's the online game, that'll take a break next week, and so will Fantasy. But our predictions league still continues, because what I do when it's international week, I do what we call a bonus week, and I'll throw in 10 to 15 predictions, and there'll be random ones, and means people can get extra points, so people can't switch off at all because there's no Premiership games. People won't be able to switch off. So at the end of the day, yeah, look out for, I'll be saying it again later in the show probably, and I'll say it tomorrow. You got David here saying, Graham, I'd be the one falling over myself. Johnny says David is a pure gent. Finn is here. Good evening, Finn. I hope you're well, Finn. Nice to see you here, mate. Next, I've got Graham says to David, I could never work out what was my best position. Strangely enough, the wife says the same. Paul G says, sure is, Johnny. I think about David being a top person. Lisa Smith says, why don't we sign Jose Senor on a free? All problems solved. God, don't know about that. David Shear says, I've been saying that since Destiny got injured last season. We have more wings than KFC. Graham says, it's glaringly obvious that the weakness in the squad, we need a left back. We need a left back and a left centre back. Evening, Ryan. Ryan's here saying evening, Jose. So evening to Ryan. What does David Shear says? Who is the finished article at 21, Jose? Our team are young, team full of potential, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. Where we finish, who knows? I'll tell you where we do finish, David. We'll finish in the Premiership because we're not getting relegated. So that's the one thing I can tell people. If you want to put a bet on, and the bookies give you odds, which will probably be really thin, is that Tottenham will finish the season in the Premiership. That for me is like I could put my mortgage on it. I don't think Tottenham will get relegated. 1 a.m. sheesh. I'm not sure what David means by that. David, I thought you were 7 hours ahead, and if the show's at 4 o'clock, that would make it 11 o'clock in the evening your time. I'm not sure though. What's the time now there, David? 5:50 in the morning. Yeah, it makes you 7 hours ahead. So it wouldn't be 1 a.m. in the morning for a 4 o'clock show. 600 subs. Congratulations to Jose. Oh, 600 subs finally, Jose Coba. Congratulations on 600 from Ryan G. And 600 quality, well deserved, mate, from Paul G. Um, I will say that I did a show on Early Doors Football on Monday, on Bank Holiday Monday, which is well worth a watch, I'd say to people, because you asked me all Tottenham related questions and that. And from that show, um, people subscribed, and I went up to 604 on Monday. But ever since Monday, I've lost one sub a day, so I'm back down to the 600 mark now. But yeah, we move on. 600, we try and we move on. Milton's here. Good morning, Milton, because he's down in Australia as well. Says, hope you're doing well, Jose. Big up everyone in the chat. Smash the likes. A bit nervous for the Newcastle game. Paul G says, early one, David, but at least you're coming out of winter. True, true, true. And he says that we've had a proper winter. Yeah, David, I'm going to have to catch up with you and have a chat. But when I have been speaking to you recently, you have been telling me how cold it is. It doesn't get cold like here in England, but for the temperatures that you usually get in Australia, yeah, it probably would be pretty cold for you. So, Spurs diehard says Newcastle 1, Tottenham 2. Early, he's calling it very early. Our Adrian, isn't he? On a prediction already for that game. Smithy says we better not get relegated. I can't have Spurs and Oxford in the same league. That would be my worst nightmare. No, what I'm saying, you know the score, Smithy. What I'm saying is that if people keep asking questions of where do you think Tottenham will finish, where do you think Tottenham, all I'm going to say, right, because at the end of the day, what I've realised, and I should have known this already, but what I've realised is it doesn't matter what you say, someone's always going to have a difference of opinion. And, you know, if you turn around and say Tottenham are finishing fourth, then you've got people that say, why? Why would you reckon they'll finish fourth? And then if you say they're going to finish eighth, why? Why do you think they're going to finish eighth? So at the end of the day, all I'm going to say, and my answer has been when I've been asked, where do you think Tottenham will finish this season? And all I've said, my other responses have been, I think they'll finish in the Premiership. And then like that, people can call me smart Alec or whatever they want to call me. But like that, at the end of the day, we remain in the Premiership, and that's the answer I'm going to give you. I'm not going to give you the answer that you want to hear, so then you can start, you know, the routine. You know how it goes on here. Well, not on here, but you know how it goes with certain people. Um, David Shear says, maths not my strong point, Jose. Was more like 3 a.m. finishing time. It wouldn't be 3 a.m. finishing time. It would probably be 1 if you stayed for the whole show. But if you got your fixtures all in, then you don't have to stay for the remainder of the show. But, Graham says, nice one, Jose, on the 600. Thank you very much, Graham. It's you guys that have put me on the road to get to 600. And it's you guys that say nice words about me, both on here and in some other chats as well, which is, very helpful. How are Oxford travelling? Smithy, I don't know. Smithy, I don't know his answer. 12th in the table at the minute, David. Oxford are surprising us all here. Big up the lads. And then David says, yeah, the wind chill factor up from the Antarctic, Jose. Paul G says, I used to live where David is. What a beautiful place. Their winter is our spring stroke summer, lol. Paul G, you used to live in Esperance as well. Fantastic, because the pictures that David sends to me are fantastic. Probably still 20 degrees in the daytime. It's not. It actually is not. I mean, David's going to be able to tell better than me, but they've had some cold ones in the daytime there from speaking to David. And David, if I remember rightly, David's telling me that particularly it's been a particularly cold winter this time round. So that's our summer, David. Yeah. Jose, you love the show. I'm glad you do, David. I'm glad you do. We had a day last summer. We had a day last summer, 47 degrees, and it was 23 the next day. Well, I lived a few hours away, but yeah, in Western Australia, just shy of Perth, and then the Margaret River. Fantastic. Fantastic, Paul G. Um, and David says, what does David say? David says, yeah, 10 degrees days, Jose, this winter. That's what I'm saying. When I spoke to you, I was going to say 9, David. I don't know why, but I was going to say 9 because I'm sure that when I've spoken to you, you've told me like 9 degrees. It's a cold one today. It's 9 degrees. And I remember saying to you in our conversation and having a chat with you and saying to you, God, 9 degrees. Here in England, we get it at -9 degrees, -10 degrees. We get it here in England. So 9 degrees. If we got 9 degrees in the winter, I think we'd be calling that really warm here in England because we don't get anywhere near the 9 degrees in the winter. In the winter here, it's always colder than that. Um, right, I think it's taken me 27 minutes to get through to the chat and to say to people why we're doing this show today uh, rather than tomorrow. And now, as per usual, in the usual style of Mop Up, anyone got any questions or has anyone got anything to say? And we can talk about it and we can get opinions from other people. Uh, 9 or 10 degrees is nice, as Ryan G, and I think he's quite right. Um, Yeah, man, I'm back tomorrow night. I thought so. I thought so. Um, David Shear says they are, Graham, only attack the tourists. That's quality, David. I'm in Western Australia this December to see family for a month. I'm in Yachep. Um, Grant says put a pinned message about why you are the fella. I don't know where your pinned message is, but I can't see it on here. Um, Grant, why did you have to draw you in the cup? You'll do them in the cup. Don't worry about that. You'll do them in the cup. Brighton ain't a cup team. Brighton ain't a league team. Brighton ain't nothing. Don't worry about Brighton. They blow a lot of hot air, Brighton. So don't worry about Brighton for the time being. Um, Ryan says he hates playing. Ryan, I'm going to ask you then, with Wolves, right? Where do you see Wolves this season? What's going to happen with Wolves this year? Because a lot of people, um, a lot of people are saying that um, Wolves need numbers, Wolves need reinforcements and stuff like that. Smithy, I'm gonna star your question. That's the first question of the night. I have starred it. Um, I mean, Grant's gonna tell me Brighton are absolutely brilliant and all that because our Grant is not he's a really top fella, but our Grant suffers from delusion, big time delusion. Grant gets nosebleeds. So if Brighton go any higher than 10th, it's like being above sea level for Grant, and he starts getting nosebleeds. But it's funny because there's quite a few of these supporters of Brighton that I see, and they all get, yeah, they all suffer from nosebleeds as well when Brighton go above 10th. Um, and if you listen to them, then they're going to win the Europa League. When they were in it, they were going to win the Europa League, and they were going to win the FA Cup, and they were going to qualify for the Champions League. I've heard it all from the Brighton supporters. So yeah, at the end of the day, Grant's just one of them, and I remember all this from all of them. Grant says, what's Grant saying? Ain't a cup team yet. Reached 2 FA Cup semi-finals recently. See, this is what I'm talking about. I didn't even know put it as a comment, but when you meet Grant and when you meet the rest of the Brighton people because obviously living on the south coast, Brighton's the nearest Premiership team to where I live, and a lot of these people support Brighton, and quite rightly so. Not as many as that they should do because you've got more people. Um, you've got more people that support other teams other than Brighton. But you got a lot. You got Tottenham supporters down there. You got Chelsea. You've got Liverpool. You've got Man United. Quite a few Man U down here as it goes, from what I've seen. You got quite a few Newcastle down here as well, and none of them sound Geordie. They've all got like different accents, but they don't sound Geordie. Got Ipswich supporters down here as well. We've got a bit of everything, but there's not enough. There's not as many Brighton supporters as I would expect down here for being living down on the south coast. But like I said, this comment he's put here, This is exactly what they come out and say to me all the time. Yeah, because when they were in Europe, they were going to win the Europa League. That's what they were telling me. Not Grant, any of them. They were telling me going to win that FA Cup, or they were going to win that. They were going to qualify for the Champions League. Everything. I got told absolutely everything by these people, and have been told by these people for many, many years. But they never take a bet off me when I say, should we bet to see who finishes higher, Tottenham or Brighton? They never seem to want to take the bet. I wonder why. But they're going to qualify for Europe in the Champions League. They're going to win cups. They're going to do everything, but they don't want to take the bet. Um, right. Ryan G says, unsure, Jose, about this, about to sign a quality player. And no, we don't need many players. We've got a much bigger squad than last season. Have you really, Ryan? Because I thought that Wolves had lost a load of players. Again, for some reason, I don't know why. I know Kilman's gone, Neto's gone, but I thought you'd lost some more. Did you have players on loan last season from other clubs that you let go, that you didn't keep on and stuff like that? I'm not sure. That's why I asked you the question. But where do you think you're unsure about where you think you might end up? Um, Grant Packham says, can't remember the last time Spurs reached two semi-finals recently. How recent are we talking about? Because we've I don't know how recent are you talking about? Because Brighton, okay, Brighton, what did Brighton do for 40 years? I can remember Brighton losing in FA Cup finals in the 80s, but I don't think I've ever seen Brighton reach a final since the 80s. Not even the Simod Cup. Not even the Rumbelows. Do people remember the Rumbelows Cup? Grant, this might be a bit too old for you because I think you're in your early 30s, Grant. Um, if I'm right, I think you're in your early 30s. But yeah, I don't think you've been in a final for about 40 odd years, Grant. So it's a bit rich you trying to give out some stick to Tottenham, my son. But it's all banter. It's all good. I'll have to educate you tomorrow. If I can't educate you on the show, I'll educate you tomorrow on the pitch. There's no problem at all. You know that I do it for free, so you're all right. Um, Ryan, have you recovered from your shellacking, Cobber? Um, Daniel Coy says Brighton's most famous players, Bobby Zamora, says it all. Nah, only messing. Don't know. I think Brighton's most famous player is Steve Fozzie Foster, the guy that used to play centre half for him before Grant was born. Um, Nate, good evening, sir. I've starred your question as well, which I will ask. Um, here we go. Here we go. What we got here? What we got here from Grant? Grant's coming back in with Brighton and Hove Albion, and we're gonna win the lot. That's what I like. Do you know what? What they've closed down. We've got quite a lot of old people's homes down here, Grant. We really have. But when I was young and I lived in London, there used to be psychiatric hospitals, and we called them the Gordons. Is what we used to call them all the time. Don't know why, but we call them the Gordons hospitals. And some of the people that spout all this stuff like you do, I'm just thinking to myself, is there enough of you to open up a new hospital or a new wing for the Gordons? Because I'm starting to think there's a few of you now, and we need to find somewhere to house you. So we might have to open up a new Gordons or a new wing just for you supporters. I'm only joking. You know that I'm only joking. Um, that's the spirit, Grant. And then he says, look, Champions of Sussex, you'll never sing that. Yeah, look at that. He's good old Grant, isn't he? Eh? Um, we're getting bantered by a fan who's never seen his team play Champions League football. David Shear says, what a rivalry for anyone. Uh, Ryan says, Pedence is back. Guedes is back. Is Pedence not going to the Saudi Pro League? I thought Pedence is one of the ones that's been signed by the Saudis. I know you got Guedes back. I don't know. Guedes has been out on loan for a few clubs, and I know you got Guedes back. He's been at a few clubs, but is he back now in the first team plans? Mosquera is back. I don't even know who Mosquera is. Um, I don't know whether you bought him and loaned him straight out. What position does he play in? I don't know nothing about Mosquera. Um, signed Larson. He's a striker that you signed. Have you still got at Wolves? I can't remember, but it was another striker. He was about 6'9", and I don't know whether he played or whether you loaned him out. But is he still at the club? You had a striker, foreign player. He was about 6'9". Have you still got him at the club, or has he been loaned out? Or have you sold him and I've forgotten all about it? Ryan G says only lost Neto and Kilman from the first team, and Neto was also always missing anyway. Neto's got 150. Sorry, Neto's 15 goals in 135 games. That's the one, Khalid. He's about 6'9". Says that manager apparently wants to keep Podence and Guedes, and we will see. Mosquera was a centre back, and he was on loan at Villarreal. And you think that Khalid's gone on loan again? I know he's your mate, Jose, so I'll let him off lightly, mate. There you go. We've got some. Right. First question of the night, and I've got two at the moment. First question has come in from Smithy. And Smithy says, how was your experience, Senor Jose, last weekend meeting three lads from the trenches? Do you know what, Smithy? You saw me at the game on Saturday. I was absolutely. I loved it all. I loved the whole lot. Now people can call me whatever they want. The one thing I will say is at the stadium, I didn't spend the literal penny. I spent a penny the other way, but not the literal penny in the stadium. So I had something to eat, but it was outside the stadium. And I had a bottle of water, but I was outside of the stadium. I didn't spend a penny, but I spent a penny the other way. Once before the game and once after the game. But cool. As for a stadium, all I can say to people is the stadium is absolutely, yeah. It looks like a spaceship. It really does. You go in there and you think you're in a spaceship when you go in there. Um, it's kind of cool because underneath the South Stand, where they've got that long, massive bar, and they've got all the eateries down there, the burger bars, the sushis, and they've got all that down there, right? The goal line bar, that's it. They call it the goal line bar. Where they've got that, you've got people at the bar itself, and then you've got people that sit on the steps, like this. There's like three or four steps as you go back up towards the steps, and it reminded me of something like, when you watched Star Wars, and in Star Wars they're all at uh, Mo Isley. They're all at Mo Isley, and they go into a bar there, and you got the people playing the music and all that. It's exactly what it reminded me of. It was just a whole load of people, and then some people just sitting back. And to me, it just reminded me. Yeah, for me, it's like futuristic, something like out of Star Wars. For me, it was like a spaceship being there. And yeah, I had absolute fun, so much fun that I've never been to the stadium. I used to go to the lane, and I've sat everywhere around the lane, and I used to go to the lane all the time. But it's the first time I've been to the stadium, and going to the stadium, you get the bugly, because straight away I would turn around and said, right, I want to go to the Arsenal game. The very next game is Arsenal, and I've said, right, I want to go to the Arsenal game. I've also said I want to go to Brentford, and they're the next two home games, and I've said I want to go to them. Now today, I was informed that I possibly have a ticket for Arsenal. And if that then gets confirmed, that means I'm going to that. And I was also told today that it should not be a problem from the same source of getting me a ticket for Brentford. So that would mean if that comes off, then that means I've attended the first three home games of the season. Now, in order to go to Tottenham, I'm going to say as well, it's quite difficult from where I am. Grant, you drive, so I don't think you get many trains, mate. But we've got a we've got a telephone. We've got a train system down here, and we call them Southern Fail. So instead of being Southern Rail, we call them Southern Fail because they're always cancelling trains, and the short-term cancellations. And you're lucky. Sometimes you can turn up to the station. You can turn up to Victoria in London, um, and when you turn up to Victoria, your train's been cancelled. And if that happens, you're not going to be able to get back. So going to a Saturday game at 3 o'clock was spot on because it meant I could get home. And from that game, I actually got home about 9 o'clock in the evening in the end. I think I got into the station about 10 to 9 in the evening. My wife came and picked me up. So when we play against Arsenal, I think it's a 2 o'clock kickoff in the afternoon. I think. And if it's a 2 o'clock kickoff in the afternoon, it means that I should be able to get up to the game and come back. Now, if the game was at 4:30, then starts becoming dodgy. I have to start checking it, because the other thing they do down here is they take the trains out of service all the time at the weekend to do what they call their improvement works, and they close the train stations down and put bus replacement services. Well, you're not going to get a bus replacement service all the way from Victoria down to where I am. So it going to the matches becomes difficult, because you've got to rely on public transport, and sometimes that public transport don't run. But like I said, Smithy, I enjoyed it so much, and it was so good meeting you. I gave you a big hug and that, and it was so good meeting you. We had a chuckle, we had a laugh and stuff like that, and we were talking about things, and it was really good, because obviously seeing you on shows, seen people have seen you in the chat, people see you on shows and that, and when you actually meet you, you're one of the people that's the real people, because the way you are on shows is the way that you are when you meet you in person. So you're not like an alter ego, you're not like a different type of person, which was really good. But yeah, it was fantastic meeting you, and the others, um and the others that I met. It was really, really good, and we had a bit of banter outside stadium. But yeah, I like I said, I'm now itching, and I'm hoping to be going to more games. But it's all travel pending. It's all, yeah, because I rely on transport. It's all travel pending. Hopefully, that's answered the first question, Smithy, that you've asked me. I'm going to go back into the chat before I answer the second one. Uh, David Shear has gifted another channel membership, and this one's gone to AJ. But I think AJ might be away for a week, if I remember rightly. I think AJ was going away for a week. I saw yesterday, I think he's going away for a week. I've not seen him in the chat today, but mind you, I haven't been looking too tough either. So, because the chat is a bit mad. He says that I was in my element, David Shear. I think David's referring to the show. So what I did is, obviously, for people that saw it, I had a show prepared, a watch along prepared for that game, and it was prepared prior me knowing I'd obtained the ticket. So I asked Colin if he could kindly look after the watch along on my channel on LTEL, and whilst he did that for me with Alan, and thank you very much to Alan as well for stepping in and doing it. But then what I then did is I thought to myself, my bright spark idea was, and it was off the cuff. It was just in the moment. I thought to myself, send me the link, and I'll come on, and I'll come on, and I came on, and I think I came on. I mean, God, I think I came on before the game started, and I definitely came on after every single goal was scored, and then I came on at the end of the game where I was still in the stands, and then I came on again when we'd run into everyone. Now, when Smithy came along, I went back in and did it again. But by the time I did it again, you'd already finished the stream. So yeah, it was good. So people did see me, and if people haven't seen me yet, go back and watch the stream. Fast forward it to when we get the fourth goal. When we get the fourth goal, and um, you can see Jose in his element, singing the Mickey Van der Ven song when he set up Son. Absolutely in my element. So yeah, people go back and watch it, and you'll enjoy it. Jamie's here from Talk Spurs. Says hi, Jose, and everyone in the chat, and also hello, Joe. Um, Grant says biggest toilet bowl in North London. Lenny Mack. Good evening, Lenny, mate. I hope you're well. Says your two towns highest honour finishing second in the championship. Twice you have twice. You have more seagulls than fans, but you're right. I quite like Brian because of the mods versus the Rockers legends. Yeah, we do get a bit of that down here. No, we get that. We get it down here as well, where we live, where me and Grant live in Bexhill. We get the mods and the rockers and the bikers, and we get them all coming down and have like mad weekends, because apparently motor racing started down in Bexhill, and you quite believe it when you see some of the people that speed down here. And the roads ain't big, and people are absolute lunatics driving down here. But yeah, we get all that down here as well. Who we got here? Grant says Southern Felt is too accurate. Yeah, it's like I said. Um, David says, haha, I thought you said do a roo, Lenny. Easy. One time on a night shift. Rumours aren't true. Um, Arsenal is at 2 o'clock at the minute, which is what I'm hoping that, yeah, like I said, I can probably get, I'm hoping to be a lot good on that for the time and everything. Um, I'm just outside London Oyster Zone. Takes me around 2 hours to get to White Hart Lane. So if you're just outside of the London Oyster Zone, that means you're just outside of Zone 9. Is that what you're talking about, Jamie? Because some people say it's up to Zone 6, but the Oyster's now up to Zone 9, isn't it? Um, and it takes you 2 hours to get White Hart Lane. It takes me 2 hours, Jamie, just to get to London. A station in London, it takes me 2 hours. And then from there, I have to get across to wherever I need to get to. But it takes me 2 hours just to get to a station in London. They took out a lot of the train lines and tracks and whatever down in East Sussex. They did it about 80 years ago. And a lot of it now has been, I mean, we've got a new link road, and the new link road runs where some of the train used to run years and years ago. So Lenny Max says to David, sounds like you got a wollongonged in the head, mate. Smithy says, it was quality meeting you, mate. You're a good guy. Thank you very much, Smithy, for that. Thank you. As I said, much respect to you and to your brother and your mate that was there as well. Colin did two really good streams addressing fan base issues. Respect that. Yes, Lenny, I'm fully aware that Cole did them. I was hoping that Colin was going to make a quick appearance tonight because he said he might get time whilst he's on a break from work, because obviously being in America, he's on a different time zone. So for Colin, it is now 26 hours. So that's 70. So it must be 20 past 5 for Colin now. Um, Grant says that, yeah, Bexhill is on sea is the birthplace of British motorsports. What I said, you wouldn't be surprised. Down here, they drive like absolute nutters. Lenny Max says, I'd be on my Vespa, me. So you was a mod then, Lenny. Superb, son. Superb. Um, I just pictured Jose in a sidecar. Oh, yeah, yeah. Milton says, I'm from Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia. So Milton's from Wollongong as well. Fantastic. Um, Jamie says, he lives in Sunbury. I'm close to Hatton Cross, but my station isn't Oyster. I would have to get a bus close to Kingston upon Thames. Yeah, Kingston upon Thames is definitely within the zones. I think ain't Kingston. What makes me laugh is Kingston's a zone 6 because you got Kingston, Tolworth, Surbiton, and all that. They're all zone 6s. But the Oyster goes up to, I mean, I don't know what Sunbury is, but the Oyster cards go up to zone 9 now, Jamie. So I don't know how far Sunbury is, but I didn't think Sunbury was outside of zone 9. Because Kingston, if you're getting a bus to Kingston, Kingston's already zone 6. So yeah, Kingston's a zone 6. So um, you got big up the Wollongong Massive coming in from Lenny Mack. Lenny's bigging up the Wollongong Massive, so bigging up the Australians. Right, next question I've got is coming from Nate. And Nate says, favorite movie and TV show? Right, we've been asked these type of questions before, but it's normally what's your favorite three movies? Right, for me, my favorite movie of all time, Nate, and always has been, and it's going to sound boring, but my favorite film of all time is The Godfather. Has always been my favorite film of all time, The Godfather, and I like Godfather 2 and Godfather 3, but my favorite film has always been The Godfather. Um, but then there's a lot of films that I do like, but you're pinpointing me for one, so I'm going to say The Godfather. And my favorite TV show, for those that live here in England, and for those of a particular age, I'm going to turn round and I'm going to say that it has to be something along the lines of Till Death Do Us Part or Love Thy Neighbour. That's when comedy was, well, rightly or wrongly, now people will say it's wrong. the only way that you can access these shows now is on YouTube. You can't watch these shows anymore. You can't get them on telly and stuff like that. Um, Smithy says only fools and horses. I don't let you down, Smithy. Long before Only Fools and Horses came along, long before it, mate, long before you were even born, mate. You had Love Thy Neighbor, and yeah, Love Thy Neighbor and stuff like that until death do us part. But all that stuff, you'd never, ever, ever, ever. Like I said, you can't watch it on telly. You can't watch it on catch up. You can't get it on streams anymore. The only place you can watch these type of things now is on YouTube because the language that was used in them comedies and the banter, if you like, or the way that they spoke about different religions and different races and different colours and creeds, it's not accepted nowadays. But it was, and remember, I'm a foreigner as well. So for all intents and purposes, my parents came to England, so I'm a foreigner as well. I'm fully 100% Spanish by blood, and I remember all this stuff going on when I was growing up. But some of these shows that were on, you can't get away with it now. You can't get away with it now. You can't get away with these things anymore. Of having shows like that. Um, who else? So who else has we got here that says so? People are saying so. Lenny Max says that he would go for The Godfather and Gomorrah. And then he says I've got taste. David Shear says that he'd go for Mad Max, the original, and Father Ted. Smithy, you're saying Only Fools Let You Down. One Foot in the Grave for Mr. Shear. Uh, Spurs GCTV says The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and The Fast Show. Colin Blackshaw's here. Good evening, Colin. I hope you're well as well, sir. I hope you're good. Milton says for him it's a Shawshank Redemption, and his favourite show is Breaking Bad. Talk Spurs says Back to the Future is my all-time, and close second is Goodfellas. And the TV show I would have to say Suits. And you've got, what else we got? Special mention is for The Inbetweeners. And David Shear says favourite skit, The Plank, starring Arthur Lowe and Eric Sykes. Yeah, well, they were two very, 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 very good comedians, weren't they? Sava from Football Heritage TV says Chelsea have just bid for Osimhen. Just saying, have they? I thought they. I weren't. I thought they were after somebody else. I thought it was Osimhen and Ivan Toney, weren't it? Osimhen and Ivan Toney that they were looking for. Interesting if they had bid for him. I wonder how much they bid for him. I've not seen because I've not looked at any of the football stuff at all today. So unless that's just happened now, Sava, I'm not sure. You got Mr. Bean was quality by Dan. It says Dan. Um, loved Thy Neighbour as a little kid. Like I said, Colin, back in the day, loved Thy Neighbour. And in Sickness and in Health with Alf Garnett and stuff like that. You weren't getting away. You can't get away with all that stuff nowadays. And like I said, you cannot find anything like that. You can't watch it. There's no way you can't get box sets of it, or you can't get it on catch up. You can't get it on stream and stuff like that. You have to. The only place that I know you can get it from is if you look on YouTube and type the words in, and then they come up. You won't get season 1, episode 1 starting straight away. You get it all different. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yeah, this is a tough debate. Like I said, you can't get away with it nowadays. Ronnie says that was Afghan. Yes, it was. Ryan saying good evening to Sava. Sava says that Suits was quality. I've never seen Suits, so I'll have to go by what you guys say. So that's a couple of you that said Suits now. You've got Colin says Afghan. It was another old style funny one. So Sava says that so they've bid for Osimhen on loan with an obligation to buy. I was going to say something like Osimhen and that, unless you've been working on this for a while, and even if you have been working on it for a while, you cannot turn something like this around in 24 hours. So it probably makes sense what you're saying, Sava, about a loan with an obligation to buy. Probably makes sense that that's what they've got to do, because otherwise it's going to be really, really difficult to try and get that across the line. Because I'd say that with Osimhen, there's probably image rights involved and all sorts with him. So yeah, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Tomorrow might be busy for other clubs. I just don't think it's going to be busy for Tottenham. Um, David Shear says, yes, Lenny, 4 candles. So 4 candles was the two Ronnies, is a skit by the two Ronnies. The 4 candles is the best skit, is what Lenny says, yeah. Um, Porridge from David Shear. Minder and the Professionals with JBG. Colin says at different times. Yeah, they were different times. They were different times. Ryan G says Tammy Abraham to Milan. Really? Is that AC Milan? Tammy Abraham. I thought one of the Premiership teams was looking at Tammy Abraham. I really did. I thought one of the Premiership. What? I thought there was a Premiership team linked with him. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Um, Chelsea losing tonight. Whoops, they didn't lose. They won 2-1 tonight. Chelsea. They went through 3-2 on aggregate. They won 2-1. Sorry, they lost 2-1 tonight to Servette, but they had already won the first leg 2-0, so they went through 3-2 on aggregate. You have Daniel saying Osimhen can get the money in Saudi. I think the Saudis have bid for Osimhen as well, but at the end of the day, Osimhen has got to make a decision. I mean, the thing with Osimhen, he's still young enough. He's still young enough to probably, he's still young enough probably to go to Saudi, do 2 to 3 seasons there, and then come back, make all the money that he ever needed to make, and then come back and pile it on for a club in Europe. At the end of the day, but it depends because if his heart's not into the money, then but saying that if his heart's not into the money, there's still a lot of money that he can make signing for a Premiership team. So yeah, but yeah, each to their own. If that's what they're going to do, then that's what they're going to do, aren't they? Chelsea, it seems to be that everybody can sign anybody. I'm just going to say hello quickly. You got Ian Meth says bonjour from Toronto. Not staying on, just saying hello. Good evening, Ian. Good afternoon to you, Ian. Obviously, if you're in Toronto, that means your flight went well. I hope you have a really good holiday, and I think you're meeting with Brian Daigle tomorrow, Ian, if I'm right. And if that's the case, then please pass on my best regards and have fun meeting Daigle tomorrow in Canada, in Toronto. 18:30 there says the early evening for you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, enjoy, Ian, and I'm sure. Are you meeting with Brian on Saturday? It's not tomorrow. You're meeting Brian Saturday, aren't you? Yeah, you're meeting Brian Saturday. Well, I hope it goes really well and you have good fun with Brian out there in Canada, Ian. But yeah, it's good. I'm glad to see that you got there all in one piece and that you're here just saying hello. It's fantastic. Trailer Park Boys is a funny show, says Milton. I've not seen Trailer Park Boys either. So that's Suits and Trailer Park Boys that I've not seen. Minders was class. Harry Redknapp, Arthur. Yeah, Minder was good. I remember Minder. Who else you got here? You've got Collins here. I thought he was making an appearance, but obviously you're busy. Oh yeah, it says, oh my god, guys, work is hell today. David Shear's telling us that Kath Kim's is comedy gold. Ryan G is saying that yeah, Chelsea are in for Tony as well. And then you've got Ian saying, "I'm not happy, Bunny, if our income is done." You obviously missed the start of the show, Ian. But what I've said is that I brought the show forward by 24 hours because I know that there's going to be a breakdown tomorrow, meltdown, breakdown, whatever you want to tomorrow amongst a lot of people because we haven't made the people will say that we haven't made the signings that we want to make and stuff like that. I've brought you on. Was that right or wrong?
Good. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
Hello.
How are
I
you
was,
guys?
yeah, I'm not bad. I'm just telling Ian because Ian's in Toronto at the moment. He's just
Oh yeah,
landed
I
a little
saw
bit longer.
his pictures
Yeah,
boarding the plane.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying to because Ian's commenting here, he's not happy Bunny if our incomings are done. Colin, you know, because I've already told you the reason why I brought the show forward, and I'm just saying to Ian, the reason why I brought the show forward, Ian, is because of all the meltdown and the breakdowns that are going to happen tomorrow, and I'd rather them just happen, and I don't want to be, yeah, I want to be as
Are
far.
we doing a show tomorrow? A 4 o'clock show tomorrow? Or no.
Yeah, tomorrow's the predictions.
Yeah, you're right. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
tomorrow's the prediction. So what I've
My
told
brain is
people,
like today.
tomorrow is the predictions show, and then I've got a member show on Saturday whereby if people want to talk about the close of the transfer window, we can do it on Saturday morning, the member show, rather than having to have a show tomorrow evening to do it. That's all. Um, Colin Blackshaw says, "Soon be Christmas. The way time is going." And it's 18:30 for Ian, and he's meeting Brian. Yeah, I thought he's meeting Daigle. He's meeting Daigle on Saturday. So, like I said, I wish you all the best in meeting Brian Daigle Saturday. And he says that he's going to Niagara Falls tomorrow.
I've never been to the Canadian side, but I've been to the American side of Niagara Falls. Not nearly as pretty from what I've heard, but it was cool. So yeah, you'll have a great time. The Canadian side is supposedly like where all the beauty is, so that should be nice. Ian, enjoy.
Okay, so I'm going to get educated here. So when we saw Superman, the film, right,
Yes,
and he saves Lois Lane because she goes over the edge, is that the Canadian side or the American side?
Canadian side.
That's the Canadian side.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the difference? Because obviously you see the falls and stuff like that. What's the difference between looking on the Canadian side and looking on the American side?
Let me see if I can find a photo. It'll probably show it better. One sec.
Because I didn't even
Uh,
know. I've always thought Niagara Falls was in and this is education for me. I've always just thought that Niagara Falls was in Canada, and that was it. Never thought about America at all.
yeah, you can see it from New York. One sec here.
You can see
Images.
Niagara Falls from New York.
Yeah,
I've been to New York. I
yeah.
didn't see Niagara Falls from New York. What was I?
See,
I must have stayed in the wrong hotel. I wasn't high enough to see it then.
you got to go looking for it. You got to go looking for it. Hold on. This is a good one here. Okay.
So can you see it from New Jersey? Because I spent time in New Jersey as well, but I couldn't see it from there either.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, okay. Here's this will be good. So that means that there are separate American and Canadian boat tours. Okay. Let me share this screen.
And that's okay. So you're sharing it now, yeah?
Yeah, if that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, yeah, fine. Because I'll get educated on this. So,
Share. Boom. Okay, so um,
so looking at it from the left and looking at it from the right, one side's Canada and one side is yeah. Okay. So where Niagara Falls is, one side you can see it is from the Canada side, but you're still seeing the same thing. It's still Niagara Falls, isn't it? It's
yeah, but you
still
just don't have
it's still
nearly
the
as good of a view of like the scale and like the prettiness. I can't, you know what I mean? Like over here, well, you can't see my mouse probably, but over there
yeah. I
on the
can. Yeah, I
Canadian side.
can. Yeah.
Oh, cool. You're looking this way. I don't know. It's supposedly much prettier, but here's like another kind of view of it. So that would make this,
Canada.
yeah.
Yeah.
This we're looking at it from the Canadian side here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean it's really cool. It's still neat. This is obviously at the Canada side. You can see the whole kind of big scope of it. And when you're on the American side, you just sort of looking down, and you can tell that there's a you're above it. You're on the same level. Whereas on the Canadian side, you're kind of below it, and can see the I don't know. It's I thought these photos would do a better job, but yeah, different view.
Yeah.
Those are boats. You guys have all seen boats. Yeah. Uh, you know,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Then you've got Smithy's been a member for months. Says big love always, Senor Jose. Milton is telling me that it's a Canadian show, the Trailer Park Boys. Have you ever seen the Trailer Park Boys?
Oh my God, it's like one of the funniest shows of all time. But it
Okay.
takes a second to get into it because Canadian humor, it's like watching a British show if you're not British, or, the humor is slightly different and it takes a little bit of adjustment. At the very beginning, I was like, what the hell is this? and then you get into it and you're like, oh, never mind, this is hilarious. It's like a mockumentary type show, and it's about obviously these guys that live in a trailer park and they get into all these hijinks. But it's a Canadian trailer park, and so it's like white trash, but like different white trash than I'm used to. It's like not I don't know. It's really good. It's really good, but
Um,
you've sort of got to be into stuff that's like complete disaster. Like there's always some kind of disaster happening.
so the other one that people have come up with, and I've heard two people have said it. Um, is Suits. Have you seen that?
I have not. No, my mother-in-law mentioned it the last time we were talking to her. She said that she's been watching it and likes it a lot.
Okay, so
But
they're two that I'm gonna have to put on my list because I was asked a question of what my favourite film is and what my favourite show is, and then people are obviously you've seen the format. People ask questions and then people all get involved, and
yeah,
people have put down a load of different shows, and the two that I haven't seen out of everything that people have said is Trailer Park Boys and Suits. So I
yes, sir.
guess they're gonna have to go on my watch list to see
Absolutely.
them.
You should. You should.
Um,
But hey, you guys, I didn't want to. I don't. I hate to jump in and run, but I heard you say I thought Colin was going to make an appearance, and so I thought, hey, I ought to. But I need to go make a sandwich or something and eat. Work
okay,
is nuts. I'm training the new guy today. I don't think he's going to see this show. Hopefully, well, I won't say anything mean. I got some training to do, basically. So
yeah,
we got this. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful rest of the show, and I'll tune in as I can and comment when I can, and I hope
all
that
right.
it goes swimmingly.
And I shall see you tomorrow for the prediction show.
I'll be there with bells on,
Thank
baby.
you very much, Colin. Cheers, mate. Take
See you
care.
guys
Bye
later.
bye. And you had people saying hello to Colin, and he's now gone. But because I was speaking to you, got your mess saying hi to Colin. Got quite a few. Uh, then we've got to Al Ali at the final stages of talks with Osman, but the deal will only happen if the move to Chelsea falls through, according to Romano. Um, I'm not saying Chelsea won't get the deal done get the deal over the line, but a deal with someone, a deal that's that big, right, with the monies involved, right, is going to be. I don't know whether you can do it inside 24 hours, basically, but Chelsea will probably go for it, and we'll wait and see. Tomorrow by 11 o'clock in the evening, we'll know whether Chelsea or whether he signed for any Premiership club, and if he hasn't, then the likelihood is because the Saudis close in a couple of weeks' time, don't the likelihood is he may well go somewhere else. Um, you got a load of people saying hello. Sava says, no meltdown, El no meltdown, Jose. Surely we all know that this is what Spurs do now. I still think there'll be a meltdown, Sava, to be honest, because I've seen some of the comments that are coming out, some of the comments that are being made, and some of the stuff that's on Shitter as well. And I can see a lot of people having a meltdown or even a riot, as Ian says here. He says, I predict a riot. Um, you have Talkspurs. So Jamie's saying, I think Gio Reg will go. I have a feeling if he loans, I think Divine stays, but I have one sneaky feeling Lange will get one in. Right. So Jamie, the I said right a while ago that Gio, if they want Giovanni Lo Celso out of the club and Reguilon out of the club, my thoughts were that the very worst case scenario is that they go on loan somewhere because then like that you've got them out of the club. The thing about getting them out on loan is that they'll get a fee for them for the loan fee. But these two players, I think, are in the last years of the last year of their contract. If I think I'm right, they're in the last year of the contract, and if that's the case, then the last time that you can make any money on a sell would be now, because otherwise, if you're sending them out on loan, you'll probably get some money for the loan for as for a loan fee, but then they become frees next summer. Um, Ronnie says Chelsea are not paying the big wages like they used to. Osimhen goes to Saudi. Johnny Bethnal Green says, big up my brother Colin. So there was quite a few people saying hello. Um, you've got David Shear says, probably Lenny. Well, I was working underground in those years. Damn shift work. Uh, Colin says, love the prediction show, Jose. Well, just before I catch up a bit more, evening, Jesse. Jesse's just appeared. Jesse, all I've got to say to you, if you're listening, there's a certain person who's not in the chat. That's all I'm going to say. Um, New York State, surely not New York City. Um, So yeah, what I was going to say to you, Colin, and for other people as well, is just a rundown on the show. Today's show, I've done it. And the reason why I've done today's show, the mop up tonight, is I've brought it forward by 24 hours purely because um, I knew what people would be like tomorrow, and I just wanted to avoid all that. So tomorrow, because I already got the prediction show at 4 p.m. tomorrow, so instead of having the two shows, I brought this one forward by 24 hours, and it's the traditional mop up. We're just doing what we normally do, just a chill Thursday evening. Tomorrow there's a 4 p.m. prediction show. Um, on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, I will be doing for the people in here that are members, and there's quite a few of you, I think, or there are some of you. For the people that are members, I'm doing a member show at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. On Sunday at 9 o'clock on the channel, we have got um, Ellie and Ash, who will be doing the ladies takeover show that they do from this channel every Sunday. But they've brought it forward to 9 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why I've done that is because there's a lot of the big channels will be doing pump up shows. So Ellie and Ash will be doing a pre-pump up and ladies takeover show on Sunday at 9 in the morning, and then on Monday we'll be doing the predictions results on Monday at 4 o'clock. Um, and apart from that, what I will say for the people that do predictions tomorrow is, unlike Predict the Prem and Fantasy Premier League that we do as well, they will be taking a week off because there's no Premiership games the following weekend because it's international break. But with the prediction show, we will still continue to do predictions next week, but it will be random predictions from other leagues. It won't be from the Premiership. So if you miss next week, you miss an opportunity of scoring points. Yeah. So just I thought I'd let you know so you're all aware. Then you've got Dragon of D's Nuts is here. He says letter Kenny. I'm saying smash the like button for the stream, and it all helps. It's great. It all helps the channel. Um, David, I hope so. We need some luck. Oh, is this Solomon? Okay, so you said right. So Colin says, is Solomon any good, guys? He's ours now for the season, 50 grand per week. Um, Right, Solomon, I can't tell you, Colin. He had a good game against Luton last year when we beat Luton 5-2. No, sorry, Burnley. Burnley, we beat them 5-2 when Sonny scored a hat trick. He set up two of his goals. But we've hardly seen him play football in a Tottenham shirt because he got injured and then he was out for that, practically been out for the whole of the season. So I've not seen him play. So I cannot tell you how good, how bad, how indifferent he may be. Um, I saw a little bit of him when he was at Fulham, or I saw as much as what everybody else did when he had a little 5 or 6 game period where he's scoring goals for fun, where he was going down, cutting in, and letting the ball go and score goals for fun. By all accounts, some people say that he kept Mudryk out the side at Shakhtar Donetsk when they both played there. I couldn't tell you because I didn't watch Shakhtar Donetsk either, just going by what other comments that people have made. So I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to get Solomon, or you've got Solomon now, if he stays fully fit, not only are you going to be interested, but so are we, because we're going to see what he's about. Um, he does attack players. He goes in and out, inside and outside, and he's diminutive, but he's quite quick. And I think you've lost a couple of players in that position. I think you've lost you lost Somerville, haven't you? You lost Somerville who played wide, and I don't know whether Solomon is a replacement for Somerville, because I know that you've got Nonto still there and you've got Dan James still there, but it adds another feather into your cap. But like I said, Colin, we or me personally, I don't know about the guys in the chat, but me personally, I'm going to be interested looking from afar type thing to see how he does with Leeds, because we didn't see nothing of him last year because he was injured. So I'm hoping it works out for you, and then that means it's worked out for us. Duchess of York's claim to fame, Jose. Oh. Lenny Mac says Suits was not my thing, had potential, but rapidly turned into Friends in Suits. Or The Good Wife. I remember The Good Wife. Um, Fabio Silva off to Las Palmas. Thank the Lord. Fabio Silva is the guy that you had out on loan at Rangers, I believe. I think that's the guy that we're talking about, the youngster, who was touted to be like the biggest the biggest thing that come out of Portugal, and obviously he's he's come back, and you've now loaned him out to Las Palmas, who are in they're in La Primera, but yeah, we'll see. Um, no sense of humour, everything taken out of context, Milton. Evening, all like I said, to hello to Jessie, and a lot of people saying hello to Jess. She's saying smash the likes up, which is really good if people could. Good evening, buenas noches to Angus. How are you, Angus? I hope all is well in Spain. Um, I think that you're an hour ahead of us, but I think that your day tomorrow will probably be warmer than what it is here. It's pretty warm today in England, but not as warm as what it is in the part of Spain that you're in, mate. Um, Lenny Mac says, I was up the Empire State Building years ago, pretty sure I couldn't see Niagara Falls. I was going to say, I never saw Niagara Falls when I was in America. Um, you've got David Shear has gifted another membership. Who did this one go to? Mr. Shear has gifted and it's gone to Dragons D's Nuts. Yeah, it's gone to Dragon D's Nuts, and I think Dragon is in the chat, so I'm sure that he's already thanked. Right, thank David. James says I have to shoot now. Great show. I'm sure I speak tomorrow. Night will come on you Spurs. Yeah, Jamie, thanks for being here. How's the job front? Message me. I want to know how your job front is because I gave you some information about some roles, but I don't know whether you've now found some work in that. I hope you have, my friend. I hope you have because everybody has the right to earn some corn. Um, and there's Dragons D saying, yeah, thanks to David. Uh, I'm excited by Andre. I can't lie, Angus looks like a good player. I don't know enough about him. I know that you've bought him from a South American side, but I don't know enough about him. Daniel Coys, Dan says, I'm confident Solomon succeeds at Leeds if he stays fit. I think he is fit because he was out for a while, and I think he is fit. It's just that, oh, excuse me. I just think that the amount of wingers we've got already, they've said that we're probably overloaded in the winger area or people that can play in their positions, and that's why they've let Solomon go out on loan. But I think he is fit. Um, it'll be interesting to see. Are Leeds home or away this weekend? It'll be interesting to see whether he makes the team. He might even be sub to start off with. But yeah, well, I'm like I said, for me, I'm looking forward, and I suppose you are, Daniel, as well. And some Tottenham supporters will be looking on to see what he does at Leeds. Um, if it's a successful loan, then that means Leeds have gained out of it, and so have Tottenham. A bit like when Joe Rodon went. If he succeeds at Leeds, then it was good for Leeds. I mean, they didn't go up. If they'd gone up, it would have been exceptional for Leeds. But then it was good for Tottenham, and then Tottenham ended up getting a sale and sold him to Leeds. I can't even remember how much we sold him to you for. I remember saying, I think, that we would sell him to you for about 12 million. And I remember people, when I first ran into Jess and the people on her channel, I was saying at the time, I think we'll sell him to you for 12. And this was well before the season finished. I said, I think we'll sell him for 12. And then other people were turning around and saying in the chat, yeah, but Levy's Levy, and Levy may want more money. And some people were saying, yeah, we think that Levy's going to be greedy and ask for 20 million. I don't. I think he went for under 12, and I said 12 million is what we'd get for him, and I think he might have gone for under 12. In fact, he did. Didn't he go for 10? He went for 10 because Gray came for 30, didn't he? Or 40 and the 10. I'm saying 30 because I'm trying to even it both out. Then you've got, yeah, you're right, Jose. I think that's about Fabio Silva, 35 million, and he's awful. So if he's gone to Las Palmas, did you sell him to Las Palmas or has he gone on loan? I can't remember what you put down in the chat earlier. Um, I can't remember what you put in the chat earlier. Where are I? You said saying. What else is Ryan saying? He says looks better than João Gomez. Andre was speaking to some Fluminense fans, and they were saying he's one of the best midfielders they've ever had. Well, that's big shoes to fill. Um, he was absolutely crap at Rangers. Watching nearly all season, he was crap. Tengo ahora 26 degrees y son casi la luna. It's casi la una. Yeah, so it's nearly 1 in the morning. It's 26 degrees. You've got lovely weather there, mate. Lovely weather. Um, yeah, Angus, crazy money for a kid who had done nothing. George Mendes had our pants down. I think George Mendes has a lot of people's pants down. Um, Daniel, of course, says, well, I built a little soft spot for Leeds this past 10 months. I want them to get promoted, and I generally reckon Solomon will help them do that. Yeah, we have all got a soft spot for Leeds, whether it's because of Jessie and her show or not. I've liked Leeds from afar for years before I met Jessie. But yeah, they play. If you see, Leeds tend to wear the same colours Tottenham do, home and away. Apart from the pink kit, I don't think we've got a pink kit this time around. But when we wore white for home kit, they wore white. When we've worn blue for our away kit, I remember Leeds wearing blue. I remember Leeds wearing the yellow away kit when we had yellow as well. So there's a lot of synergies with Leeds with our kits. So there we go. 10 million just says yes. Yeah, I thought it was 10 million, and I was saying 12 well before the season. So um, then you have is Milton. That's Milton. Yeah, Milton says it's 8:30 a.m. on Friday morning in Australia. So that makes Milton 8 hours ahead of me. And it's 27 degrees, and we are still in winter. I don't know whether it's too late for you, Milton, but we do a prediction show at 4 o'clock, which would make it midnight for you on a Friday, which would make it your midnight tomorrow. So it'd be midnight Sunday for no, it'd be midnight Saturday for you. I'm not sure whether you're interested in coming and doing it, but you're more than welcome to do so. Um, David Shear says it's 7 a.m. there and it's 11 degrees. Um, Defo, not because of me, Jose. Says yes. uh, no offense, I don't like Leeds after I watched the movie The Damned United. Um, The Damned United, was that the film about Cluffy? The 43 Days of Clough? If it was, I watched that the other night. I found it interesting. Um, I didn't realise there was much. I didn't realise there was that much needle between Clough and Revie, or that Clough disliked Revie so much because I didn't know about it. But I remember when Revie became the England manager, and I remember when Revie was ousted as the England manager, and when he was ousted, I think the same year he was ousted, or the following year that he was ousted, Cloughie won the Champions League with Forest. So I think if memory serves me right, Don Revie came and managed England in 1974. I think England had failed to qualify for the World Cup in '74, and Don Revie was brought in. So he went from Leeds to England, and I think Don Revie was sacked in '78. And this is when I was a kid. I remember all this football happening. England got beaten by Italy 2-0 in the last qualifying match, and England failed to qualify for the 1978 World Cup, which was in Argentina. And I think Revie was sacked because England failed to qualify. So I think Revie came in, who was meant to be the best manager at the time. He came in to manage England and was ended up getting sacked. And Cloughie obviously went on to win he won the league title and he won 2 European Cups. And Revie left England. I think Revie went to Saudi Arabia or something like that, Oman or somewhere like that. So where Cloughie went up in stature and in what he did in club football, Revie was on the way down after managing England. But yeah, I do remember. I watched that the other day. Milton says, "I'm sweating my ass off here. Been at work since 3:30 a.m. Good old Milton watching us whilst he's working. Ooh. Um, David Shear says, you guys have your trumpeters at the top of the stadium. We have a guitarist belting out AC/DC at the top of Perth Stadium. That's brilliant. Johnny Bethnal Green loves AC/DC. Milton says AC/DC is a sick band. Daniel Collins. Neto is a decent keeper. Would be much happier than Ramsdale as a number 2. Ramsdale, right, is going to Southampton. Ramsdale is going to Southampton. And people will say that Ramsdale, people will say that when Tottenham played Arsenal, and was it Richarlison? Richarlison gave him some jip. People turn around and say that that was the turning point for Ramsdale at Arsenal. Was that was the turning point? And it's certainly gone haywire. He was England's number 1, weren't he? And then, well, sorry, when England's number 1, but he was going to rival Pickford for the England number 1 slot. And now he's ended up going to Southampton. The one thing I think at Southampton is he will start as their number 1. At the end of the day, Ramsdale will start as their number 1 at Southampton. But it's funny because Southampton have got other keepers as well. I'm not going to say they're as good as or they're any worse, but they've got other keepers as well. So it's interesting because I think Southampton have probably got 3 or 4 goalkeepers who, in their own rights, would probably believe they should be number 1s. But we'll wait and see. Quez Ali, good evening, Quez. I hope you're well. I hope you're well, sir. Just checking. Let me just check. Yeah, the like button's not being hit. The like button's not being hit, people. We need to caress that like button. Johnny Bethnal Green. Bon Scott died round the corner of my old haunts. He was God. Bon Scott. Okay. Grant says he liked it. Didn't England choose Greenwood over Clough? Yeah, but they did. Greenwood did get selected, but what I'm saying, Colin, is on a timeline because watching that damned United, I didn't realise that Cloughie didn't like Reevy, and obviously when he went to Leeds because England had poached Reevy, so and that happened in '74. So, and obviously I know that Clough only lasted 44 days with you guys. But Reevy starts at the England job in 1974, and then by the time of 1977, he'd already been dismissed because they failed to qualify for the '78 World Cup. So, and then Reevy then from being dismissed as England manager, and then he then went and ended up going to Saudi Arabia or somewhere like that to manage. So his career went downhill, but Clough's climbed because Clough went to Forest, didn't he, in the end, and won the league and then won 2 European Champions leagues or European Cups as we used to call them back then. So therefore, what I'm saying is that with all the love and hate that there was between them two at the time, one's trajectory went up and the other's trajectory came down. Who else we got here? Ramsdale apparently was too expensive for Wolves. Angus is saying that Ramsdale is an unbelievable goalkeeper. He just needs game time. So Angus, I'm going to ask you, mate, because you support Arsenal. Who was the better goalkeeper? Is it Ramsdale or is it Raya? For you, your opinion, because obviously everyone's going to have a different opinion, but what would your opinion be on that? Milton is saying, I think Ramsdale is going for 25 million. You're sure that Sarr will be sold tomorrow from Wolves because you've got 4 goalkeepers at the moment. But weren't Sarr meant to be a really good goalkeeper? He's Portuguese, I think, but he was meant to be a good goalkeeper, and he was your number 1 for a while as well, if I remember rightly. Grant says it will do him good being a first-choice goalkeeper. He's talking about Ramsdale. Ramsdale will be benched once Bazinu is fit. Arsenal got not getting them bonus payments, says Lenny Mack. Ryan, I worry for your team this season, how you feel confident or not. I asked him that. You like the stream, Grant. Thank you very much, Grant. I'm still going to not let you kick me tomorrow night at football. If that's only fair. I don't want you to kick me tomorrow night at football. Not one. Cluffy was a hilarious and a total nutter. Grant is saying he's got only 7 hours of work to go, Jose. Hope you can stay on the stream till then. I am not going to do a 7 hour stream, Grant. I've been doing this for an hour and a half so far. It's now midnight and I have work in the morning. You just want to skive, Grant, for your next 7 hours. That's what you want to do. But if you want something to do, go and watch some of my other shows that I've done this week and give them a like. Maybe watch the watch along that I did on Saturday, or that was done on Saturday, where I was at the stadium and I kept coming in live from the stadium. That's an interesting one to watch. But yeah, go and watch it and hit a like, mate. Toxic Headshots here saying, hi, mate. Good evening, Toxic Headshot. I hope you're well. Not seen you post anything for a few days, mate. But I do hope you're well. Angus is saying Raya is 100% the better goalkeeper. That's fair enough. As I said, everyone's got opinions. So um, Clough punched Roy Keane in the face, and Roy didn't whack him back. Yeah, but Cloughy did Cloughy things, didn't he? Cloughy did what he wanted. Cloughy did Cloughy things. Um, Ryan G says, I think in answer to Colin and to me, I asked him this question earlier, says, our squad is stronger than last year, Cole, mate. About to sign another really talented player and hopefully another centre back tomorrow. And I think we could have a good season. Hey, look who's here. Look who's here. It's Ellie. She says, sing it. Jose. Jose. See, every time Ellie calls me, all right, every time she calls me, she doesn't say hello or anything at all. She sings. Just as she's written it down, she starts singing my name down the phone. And it takes her, you have to let her finish the rendition of Jose, 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 Jose. You have to let her finish the rendition before you can actually start talking. It's absolutely brilliant. Nice to have you here, Ellie. You make me laugh. Um, you are a really, really good laugh. And it was good because we both went to the game together Saturday. It was fantastic seeing her as well. Um, and then you've got David saying, Queen Kiss of Death is in the house. Um, Ramsdale will soon be England's number one. He's a better goalkeeper than Pickford. Well, Angus, did you watch the game, the Tottenham game on Saturday, or have you watched the highlights of our game? Did you see Son's second goal? And what I'll say to you, Angus, is sorry, Son's first goal. And what I'll say to you, Son did that for the whole game. He kept running. It doesn't matter what side of the pitch he's on. He kept running every time. Every time she was near the ball, he just kept running and running at him because we knew he'd end up making a mistake. We knew that he'd end up making a mistake. So, at the end of the day, it was, you could see that he's going to be, that Pickford's on his way out, basically. He can't kick. He's very slow on the ball. Um, Shot stopper, he's not bad. He's not a bad shot stopper, Pickford, but that's all I think he offers. Well, look who we've got here. We have got Go to bed, old boy. We've got Nick, round table talk. Good afternoon, Nick, because you're in North America, so I'm going to say good afternoon to you, sir. I hope you and the family are well, Nick. Thank you for being here. Jesse saying smash the lights, which would be superb. Um, Grant says, I'll put your watch along on while playing Football Manager. You in that hospital, you do really, really, you work really hard. I mean, I know it's the night time, so when you're pouring and whatever, you're not going to get that many people to ferry around, are you? So, I hope the 7 hours goes quickly for you, mate, and I hope you get a good kip tomorrow before we take to the pitch and battle tomorrow evening. What's he saying here? Ryan, I just called Wolves Spike Dudley, mate. I'm working, of course. G'day, Nick. The people are saying g'day. And then he says, hit the like for the channel. Thank you very much. Roundtable talk. Angus says, if we get that striker and winger tomorrow, I will be extremely happy. Angus, who are you looking to sign tomorrow? What striker are you going for and what winger? Honestly, I've kept away from shitter and that because I know that there's meltdowns everywhere at the moment and there's going to be even tomorrow. So I stayed away. So I couldn't tell you much of what all clubs are up to at the moment. So yeah, tell me who's a striker and a winger that you're after. For people that support other teams here, tell me what business you think your teams or players that your teams might be going for because I don't know and I really don't know. Just a harmless potato. Hello, just a harmless potato. Nice to have you here, sir. Says good evening or morning all. Big up El Del Gogarel, David Shear, Queen Ellie Hoiberg, Ryan G, Daniel Coys, Lenny Mac, Roundtable Talk, Grant Packham, Jesse Talks Football Channel, and sure he meant many, many more, but it's just too many to go through. You've got people saying hello to Ellie, so I don't know whether Ellie's listening because Ellie's daughter's not very well and she's looking after her, so it might be that she has to be quiet. But yet people are bigging you up there, Ellie. You have Ryan G saying if you get that Angus, I might think that you can do it this season. I just don't know I don't know who they're going in for. A striker? I don't know who they're going in for. And I thought of the striker. I don't even know what striker they're linked with. I don't even know what winger they're linked with. Better late than never, says the harmless, but just the harmless potato. Um, Lenny Mac is saying Ellie sounds like the worst person to invite to a karaoke party. Hogging the mic. Queen Ellie Hoiberg says, evening, Senor Garcia, pronounced Garcia. Don't wear it out. He's on fire, isn't she? Pickford's is making mistakes now. He will lose his England spot soon. It was interesting, guys. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think on the first squad that Lee Carsley picked today? Has he made some bold moves there? Some players are in there that played for his under 21s, and he's left some players, established players, out. It's quite interesting because he's brought some established players in, but I mean, we're all going to turn around and at Tottenham, we're all going to look at Maddison, aren't we? We're going to look at Maddison didn't get selected, but Jack Grealish did. Where Maddison started both games for Tottenham and Grealish hasn't. So people are going to say, is there? Well, people might just turn around and say, is there an issue with Carsley and Maddison? You know, and at the end, I don't know whether there is or there isn't an issue with that. But you've got Grealish who's got in there and hasn't played a game. Marcus Rashford has played both games for Man United. He didn't get into the squad either. So there's a lot of people that are looking at this squad and thinking, Carl Walker's been left out. And I don't know whether he actually explained why Carl Walker's been left out. But he's picked John Stones, and John Stones didn't start both games for Manchester City. So it's quite interesting. Carsley has obviously got his own, wants to put his own stamp on it. But yeah, it was quite interesting because he's got some of these some of the players that he relied on in the under 21s. Angel Gomez, right? I know that Angel Gomez used to be at Man United. Where is he playing now? Is he still playing for Man United? Because if he is, he's not in the first team, but yet he's been selected for England. Um, who else did he bring? He brought in Morgan's Gibbs White, Noni Madueke, and there was one other. He brought another player in as well. Because there's four that he's brought in from his under 21s. Angel Gomez, Noni Madueke. Who am I missing? Noni Madueke, Angel Gomez. Oh, Liveramento. He brought Liveramento in as well, didn't he? But yeah, you can see he's making his own stamp. And with Liveramento bringing him in, obviously they must have had that discussion with Trippier because Trippier's now announced his retirement today. But then he hasn't got any of the other players playing either. So yeah. Grant says, hello, potato, which reminds me I've got to add you to my shopping list for tomorrow. Ah, Grant, you're so funny. Jess has become a channel member. Thank you very much, Jess. I want Gokaris and Coman. Yeah, but are you okay? Let me rephrase it. There's only 24 hours left of the window. Have Arsenal made any concrete bids for any of these two players? In the sense of, have you bid for these two players, and the talks are taking place now in the last 24 hours to try and get deals over the line with them? Because that's what I'm saying. I've not heard any links at all, so I wasn't sure. Grant says, need that PSV centre back, but they're asking for silly money. I don't know who the PSV centre back is. You're going to have to let me know his name. Nick says, a player I like is Anthony Robson. Would be great in my opinion. Yeah, good left back. It's good left back. Ryan says he's heard links of Sterling to Arsenal. See, the thing is, what do you guys think? Oh, David Shear has gifted a channel membership Thank you very much, David. And this one's gone to David Shear. No, sorry, no. This one's gone to Spurs Diehards. It's gone to Adrian. I think I might have missed one earlier. Did one go to? I think one went to AJ, and I think one went to AJ, and this one's gone to Adrian. So I'm sure that if Adrian or AJ, and I'm sure AJ's away for a week, but if they see this, then they need to thank Mr. Shear for sponsoring today's show. I see Spurs' golden boys out of the squad. Well, like I said, I've already made my comments on that. At the end of the day, I think, yeah, it's interesting. Kazi's going to pick and go the way that he needs to go and the way that he wants to go. But it's interesting that when you talk about, say, I'm picking players on their early form and that, well, Grealish hasn't got none because he hasn't played. So, Stones hasn't played. I know they play for Man City, but that's regardless of that. If you're going to say you've picked players on their start of the season, I know we've only had 2 games, but some of these players haven't even played football, but yet they got selected. But that's the way he wants the route that he wants to go, and that's down to him. Daniel, to the point, he says, smack England and smack the bottle job mentality this country's had since 1966. Okay, this is what he's. PSV have told Brighton that they will not be selling Oliver Bosgali, despite him being in the final year of his contract. Never heard of the player, mate. I'm going to have to be educated because I've never, ever heard of the player. Colin says he bets Grealish is sorry that he left Villa now. And Ryan G says, give me Brighton's owner. I'm jealous of your transfer window, Grant. Which one? He's playing for Lille in France, that Gomez. So is he on loan out there, Angus, or did he get sold by Man United to Lille? It'll be interesting because, yeah, it was interesting what Carsley said about him today, to be honest. But let me try and catch up with the chat. Where are we? Just a harmless potato says, great times, 4-0 win in the bag, therapy sessions all over the place. I even fancy us to get a result at St James's. There you go. Good owners Brighton have, Grant, is what they're saying. It's gone to Adrian. Yeah, that's what I said. It's gone to Adrian. And that's what I will say. What I will say to people here in the chat that haven't got, sorry, I'll say to people here within the chat that if you go to your settings or the settings for the show, accept memberships. So it's something you're going to have to toggle, but you go to accept memberships on your own profile or whatever. And if you accept memberships, there are very kind people within the community and here in this community that do gift out memberships. And people, if they've got it switched on, you may be lucky to get a membership. Some people have been lucky today, but then David's been generous today. So, but there are others as well. We get sponsored by the Australians on this show, and it's a fact. The big main sponsors of this show seem to be David Shear, Peter Kagayas, and Tigaro. And I'm hoping that 1, 2, if not all 3, can make the members show on Saturday morning. I've done it at a time when it should be ideal. It should be Saturday evening for these people in Australia, and it will be our morning for all these people that are members here in this country as well. It will be early after. Sorry, it'll be very early afternoon for people that we've got members from India, and it'll be early afternoon for them. The people that it's going to be really, really, really early for the show on Saturday would be the people in America. So either you've got to be a night owl with insomnia, or you may end up missing the show, which means you might have to watch it on playback. He's been out there for 2 to 3 years, so Man United must have sold him because I'm sure that he was at Man United. So Man United must have sold him then. Right. So I've got no more questions of being asked. Am I being asked any more questions? No, because that was Nate's question there. Right. So just to repeat for the people that haven't heard me say this already, tomorrow, 4 o'clock, normal time. So 4 o'clock would be in 16 hours' time. In 16 hours' time, we have the prediction show at 4 o'clock BST. We have the prediction show where we do the predictions. For people that have entered the FPL, the Fantasy Premier, or for people that are doing Predict the Prem, if you are doing it, then fine. You've got to do your changes, your substitutions have to be done before the first game is kicked off, and your predict the Prem has to be done before the first game is kicked off. Other than that, the predictions will be on tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Um, on so people, please come to the show and come and put your predictions in. It'll be brilliant. We have 53 people that entered the competition now, so it'd be really good to get some more people. I welcome anyone new tomorrow to the show to do it. On Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, we will be doing a members show, a members call in. I will either send out the link tomorrow evening or I'll send it out early Saturday morning for the show for members to come on. On Sunday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, we have Ellie and Ash doing the ladies takeover show. But whilst they do the ladies takeover show, what they're also going to do is an early pump up show for the Newcastle game, because they're all the big channels, the Irish Hotspur, We Are Tottenham TV, all the big massive channels end up doing pump up shows. So Ellie and Ash are going to come on earlier to do a pump up show before these pump up shows end up starting. So it gives them a couple of hours clear run at it. So that'll be at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, BST. And then on Monday at 4 o'clock, I will give an update on Monday at 4 o'clock of week 3 of the predictions, Fantasy Premier, and Predict the Prem. But what's important for everyone to realise is that with Predict the Prem and the Fantasy, because there's no Premiership games next weekend, you don't have to do any predictions, right? Because, sorry, you don't have to do any online stuff with FPL or Predict the Prem because there's no Premiership matches. But in the Predictions League that we do on a live show on Fridays, next week, it will be the turn of the lower leagues to be in the predictions, where I bung in some lower league games and that gets people points. The people that miss next week will probably have to make ground on some other teams if you miss the show. And as I've said that, you have got David Shear has just gifted 5 memberships, right? They have gone to Nita, Mark Cook, Tottenham Ranger, Dry Roasted Peanut, and the Mile High Hotspur. I know the Mile High Hotspur has come in and thanked David already. I believe that he's come in here and he's thanked them already. Yeah, because look, he's just gifted them. And then you've got Leo. Good evening, Leo. Oh, sorry, good afternoon to you, Leo. Hope you and the little one and the family are all well, sir. But it says, Cobbo, you're generous, homie. Thanks for the membership. Lee Max says, pump up the pump up show. Jesse's off. Good. Bye, Jesse. Take care, darling. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. Chris Peters says, hello, Chris. Good evening. Good morning to you, sir. Evening, Jose. I had this week off with my wife. Been to Wapping today and met with some friends who just moved here. Really drunk and on the way home. Chris, get home safely, mate. It's nice to meet up with people. I'm glad that you've had a good time, but it's also equally important that you get home safe and sound, my friend. And if you're listening to me on the way home, all well and good. If it's going to keep you awake, because I just want to make sure you get home. But then also as well, I shall see you for tomorrow's show as well, Chris. Glad to have you here. Yeah, people get over to the Mile High Hotspur. He did a video with the Colorado coach, which David Shear's saying, I watched it. I also commented on it and I also liked the stream, but it was superb. So please go over and watch the Mile High Hotspur. Milton says, well done, David. Great effort. Big up. Milton, you need to switch your profile on to accept gifts. Who knows? You may get one. Lenny Mack as well. Who knows? You may get one. When people do end up, the people gift out, or you can go and get one yourself, but buy a membership yourself if you so wish. I'm not forcing anyone to do so. Does anybody else have any questions? And Mr. Shear, I will give you a call tomorrow morning my time, which will be early evening your time. Just saying, I'll have a chat with you then. no, Leo, no worries at all, Leo, mate. Um, you're a good guy. But I tell you what, Leo, you've got a lot of people in your Colorado pub that are Tottenham supporters. If you've got all your people in your Colorado pub that are Tottenham supporters, tell them to subscribe to El Tel Cockerel. That'd be good. And I can have all your Colorado Spurs here as well. That would be fantastic. And then have a joint Colorado El Tel Cockerel stream would be fantastic. Uh, Angus says, who do you think would be the busiest on deadline day? Um, I don't know. I don't know, Angus. And the reason why I say this, right, and I said this the other day on the show. The reason why I don't know, or the reason, or what I can turn around and say is, I called this. I called this last season. I called this again in the winter transfer window. I turned around and said, and I've been saying it for a year now, that the fees that you pay for players, we've hit that peak. And I said for a year now that the value of players and buying players is going to come down, and it's come down absolutely big time. It's come down, and if we look in the previous windows, and I haven't got factually the answers here in front of me, but I would say that it's probably £1 billion spent every summer in the transfer window in the Premiership. I'm not even sure where we are at the moment, but I'd be surprised if we got anywhere near £500 million. So that'd be half of what normally happens. I think it might be even less than that, to be honest. And that's even with Chelsea doing their spending and going mental. I don't think I don't think that much money has been spent. I don't think we're going to hit the heights of a billion or 1.2 billion or whatever it is spent in the Premiership. And the other thing that I've said is what I've noticed. Okay, if it's way over 500 mil, it's nowhere near what it is over the £1 billion mark. It's not going to get to these stages anymore. The money to come down. The other thing I've noticed is because of everything that's going on with with laws and stuff that they've put in there, um, and with these, you've got to stay within these guidelines and them guidelines and all these other guidelines. What I've noticed is that 80% of the players that are being bought, and I said 80% of the players that are being bought in the Premiership seem to be 25 or under. And it's only 20% that may be over 25 years of age. And again, I'm not going factually, I'm going on what I think, and what my thoughts are. Um, but I don't think we're going to spend nowhere near as much money as we did last season. And if anything, I don't know. I don't know what guys think, but all the names, the big names and stuff like that. Who spent the most money this year on a signing? Grant, you're saying 25 are under going to Chelsea. Grant, look at the players you signed. How many are under 25? I don't know how many signings you've made. Um, I don't know how many signings you've made at Brighton, but if you've made 8 signings, how many of them 8 are 25 or under? How many of them that you signed are over 25 years of age? Because I've got a feeling that you've signed a load of youngsters as well. Another thing I'll say, because obviously Angus, you asked the question. Another thing I'll say, Angus, is that I was talking about Aston Villa, right? Because people are waxing lyrical about Aston Villa doing, they're going to finish higher than Tottenham because they've done great business, blah blah blah. And I turned around and I said a few weeks ago, I said that I don't believe that Aston Villa have done or have completed any great strides. And my reasoning behind that is that they've lost Douglas Luiz and Diaby. And I said, well, we're losing Luiz and Diaby. Who have they actually signed that replaces them 2 players? And people were telling me, yeah, but they signed 8 players. They brought 8 players in. And I said, okay, so they've brought 8 players in, but who who did they sign that's going to replace the 2 main players that they've got? So they got rid of 2 players. They got rid of Igbaruna as well to Everton, but that was on a when they were hiding in plain sight, doing dodgy deals between each other. But the players that they brought in, let's say on the Louise deal, they got Baranchea and they got Illing Jr. They've both been loaned out. They're not even playing for. They're not even going to be playing for Villa. They've both been loaned out. So to me, there's just a lot of there's a lot that's going on, but yeah, there's a lot of nothing that's going on in my eyes, is what I'm going to say. A lot of nothing. Um, Jose, do you reckon you'll be walking if we're on opposite teams tomorrow? Grant, if we're on opposite teams tomorrow, I'm going to tell you now, so I make it publicly known. If we're on opposite teams tomorrow and you come to foul me, you tomorrow will come off second best because I'm not letting you keep booting me up in the air all the time. I've been really nice, and on this show when you was on before, and I said I've been really nice and I let it go, right? I was said to you shouldn't let it go. You should hit back. So tomorrow, any hour in different teams, you come to tackle me, I'm going to boot you up in the air. Why? Okay, all right. Awesome, Jose, matey. And Leo, you are going well, buddy. Yep. Love the match day vlogs from Quez to you there, um, Leo. Um, Colin says, question, are you happy with your squad for the season? If I get asked this on the members show on Saturday, I will probably answer it then because for all intents and purposes, the window doesn't close for another 22 and a half hours. If it closes at 11 o'clock, it's now half past midnight, so it's another 22 and a half hours. Don't know what's going to happen between now and the next 22 and a half hours, so I'd rather answer it once the window is closed. Uh, Part of me is really happy, really, really happy part of me. But the part of me that's really, really happy, I'd be accused of something because I'm happy. I'm not allowed to be happy, or that's what people would say. And I've got this ticker tape that's going along down here. I don't know if people have seen it, but it's been there throughout the whole show. And what that message says on the ticker, it says, please be real to yourself, support the team in your way, and be good to one another. And that's been on the ticker for the whole show. So, at the end of the day, I will probably turn around and tell people on Saturday if I'm asked a question. Yeah, go on, Leo. Absolutely, Jose. I'll share your links in my Cospers chats. Lovely. That'd be brilliant. Thank you very much. Obviously, I have loved how Spurs have kept their cards close to their chest. I'm wrapped Lancashire staying this season. Yeah, there was rumours today that he's staying. Yeah, that he's staying with the team. Now, I don't know whether he got injured at the start of the season in an under 21s game, but no, everyone's gone quiet on that. Well, he may not be injured. I don't know. Right. So yeah, look, Grant says that Brighton have signed 9 players, and out of them 9 players, 8 are 25 or under, and one's over 25, which is kind of what I've been saying. You look at people that have gone out and purchased players. The players seem to be 25 or under, and it's not just the one club that's doing this. It's many clubs are going down this route. Football has changed. Football has changed. Now, whether it's changed for the better or the worse, I'm not going to leave. I'll leave it up to yourselves because everyone has a different interpretation on how the football's gone. And at the end of the day, or how the football is at the moment. At the end of the day, like I said in the past, to me, football has changed in the last 10 years. I think that football's become robotic. And people are here because I've said this before. I think football's become robotic. You're told to stand here, you're told to stand there, you're told when you should receive the ball, when you shouldn't receive the ball, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Gone are the days of the Mavericks. Gone are the days of the players that that could go and do their thing on a pitch. I mean, I don't know how old Angus is, but I'm going to say to Angus, I was around when Chippy Brady played for Arsenal. You didn't tell Chippy Brady to stand in here, there, and everywhere. Chippy Brady just played the game. Chippy Brady played for Liam Brady's his name, but everyone called him Chippy. He played at the same time that Hoddle played for Tottenham. Do you think Hoddle was getting told you got to stand here, there, and where to stand up, where to stand, when to take your shoes, when to tie his loose shoelaces up? these players were mavericks. They could just play the game. Now football has become very robotic, and I just think it's to the detriment of the game. Yeah, you might get people that are quicker than others now and stuff like that, but it's become too robotic. Anana replaces Louise. Does he? Anana and Louise are two different type of players. Anana's a different type of player altogether to Louise. So for me, there's no direct replacement. They've made no direct replacement for the Louise position because they play totally differently, and they've made no direct replacement for the winger position either. And that's where I'm trying to get to. So they may have signed Anana, but he's not a direct replacement for Louise because they're two different players, unless Villa are looking to play totally different this year. And in fairness to Villa last year, Villa looked really, really strong with their midfield three that they had playing. They looked really, really strong. So, they may have changed the way they line up, but there we go. Give us Kivior on loan. Daniel says, in fairness, I hold my hands up about Brian. I thought them getting that younger manager would be the unknown for them. They look pretty decent, I must admit that. We're finally spending the money Chelsea gave us. Yeah, but Chelsea, I don't know. I don't even know how much Chelsea gave you. They did that. They stole Cucurella off you, didn't they, for like 53 million, and then they stole the boy, the boy in midfield, who went for 100 odd million and that. Of course, you're gonna have loads of money. Chelsea, Um, Potato says the Premier League spend is 2.181 million euros on 265 players. 767,000 net spend. Last season was 2,934 on 421 players. So according to that, we're 800,000 euros less this season compared to last season, which is, like I was saying, the money's come down. Grant, Grant is saying you better wear shin pads tomorrow, Jose. Grant, I never wear shin pads. I never wear shin pads, and I'm not going to start wearing them now because I've got a little jumped up Brighton supporter telling me that he's going to come after me on the pitch. So yeah, do you know what? Bring whatever you want, and you bring your shin pads with you, bring your mouth guard with you, bring your elbow pads with you, bring your BMX hat with you, bring everything, and see if you can get around the pitch. Bring your roller skates with you. Let's see how you get on. Just bring everything with you. Uh, Lenny Matt says Jose elbow and winding incoming. Yeah, we'll see tomorrow. Right, Nick. Nick the round table talk says, question: if we don't sign anyone else but get rid of the last ones we need to move on, are you okay with window? Nick, as I said, I will turn round and I will turn around and I will say after the window closes where I sit on this. Suffice to say, if people have heard a bit of what I've said already, I give this window a 9 out of 10 if it's on outgoings. And if the two players that if they want to get rid of these last two players in Lo Celso and Reguilon, then you have to give the outgoings 10 out of 10 because that meant they would have got rid of everybody that they wanted to get rid of. These are the last two that they haven't done so far. So therefore, on the outgoings, I give it 9 out of 10. But then you've got to measure the outgoings with the incomings and that. And that's where I need to balance it that in 22 and a half hours, the window closes. And then I can't, I don't want to speak too early about that. I'll be able to do this tomorrow. So I will speak about it. Yeah. Ronnie says 1.7 million. Premier League clubs have spent more than 1.7 billion so far, 600 million less than last year. Well, 600 million less, and 600 million ain't going to be 600 million will not be sold tomorrow. Colin Blackshaw says, if we get Harmer, I'll be very happy. That's Gustavo Harmer, isn't it, from Sheffield United? I thought that Leeds had bid for him and didn't get him, but I didn't realise he'd gone back in for him. Gustavo Harmer was a good player he was a good player in the Championship 2 seasons ago. I don't think he lit up the Premiership last year, but it could well be that he'll give it another go in the Championship, and it would be good for you. Marino 28, Calafiori 22. Raya at 28. So yeah, but Raya for me, for all intents and purposes, I had Raya bought as last. I had you buying Raya last season because we knew about the deal last year. I know that you've bought him now, but it was last year. But again, look, you got Calafiori under 25. So um, no player initiative, Jose. Same as Aussie rules. um, Tengo 27 años, Jose. Really? Well, then you may not remember Chippy Brady then. Um, Chippy got his name right. If you can answer the question, you get a prize. I even caught Jez Arsenal History Channel on that one. I can't remember why he got called Chippy Brady, but I know that he was Liam Chippy Brady, and he left Arsenal for Juventus. He's one of the first imports that Arsenal ever sold to the Italian league, and he done really well at Juventus. But then he had a cultured left foot. He's a very good player, Liam Chippy Brady. Um, we signed a young lad from Non at centre back, but he's surely for the future, is what Ryan G says. Uh, Grant, Arsenal reach an agreement with AFC Bournemouth to sign goalkeeper Neto. Deal for the 35-year-old Brazilian season-long loan. No buy option or obligation. Medical on deadline day as AFC lineup number 2 to Raya. Interesting. Interesting. 800 million less has just asked Harmless Mateo. Look at Lenny. Lenny says, I'm bringing a tool in it. Nick saying, Jose the Enforcer. David Shear, bring your cricket box with your Grant. He won't be able to move if he brings his cricket box, if he brings his shin pads, if he brings his knee pads, his elbow pads, if he brings his BMX hat with him. He's going to be dressed like Robocop. He ain't going to be able to move anywhere, is he? So, and anyway, if he was dressed like Robocop, he probably wouldn't be able to chase me on the pitch and get to me anyway. You'll need shin pads, kicking Romelo Garcia Grant. Dekaru's here. Good morning to you, Dekaru. I hope you are well. It's been a while since we saw you. How are you, Dekaru? I hope you're really, really well, mate. Shin pads don't help. As a former keeper, I've been kicked in the face far more than kicked in the shins. Don't give him ideas, Dekaru. Bloody hell. I'm saying that I'm not going to wear shin pads anyway. And now, not that that excites Grant enough, but you're now telling him that he should go for my head. uh, here we go. This I'm not sure about. I really wanted Joan Garcia, but if we get the winger and striker, I don't care. Did you keep Werner? Yeah, Werner's on loan, Colin, at Tottenham. He's on loan. Once you loan a player, you can't send them back. Unless they're injured, I believe, because I don't think there's a break clause for the winter either. I don't think. I think he was signed on a season-long loan, but we don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of it. So um, don't worry. I'll go Eric Cantona tomorrow. Okay, fair enough. You come Eric Cantona tomorrow, and I'll give you Billy Bremner. Right? That's a deal, isn't it? I'll give you Billy Bremner. Right? I'll give you Billy Bremner, and I'll give you Johnny Giles. How's that? That's not bad, is it? Or I could go in Billy Bremner, Johnny Giles, and I could go in with Dave Mackay. So I can come in with a hybrid of all three against your Eric Cantona tomorrow. Um, David Shear saying, "Look, good day to Dekaru. Hope you're well. Long time no see." Exactly what I said. Colin Blackshaw says, "Ryan, I rate him. I'll take him in a heartbeat at Leeds." Grant says, "El Bird Classico tomorrow." Um, No tengo idea de quién es. Uh, and Max says he's got the name because as apprentice he'd eat fish and chips every chance he had. Mundane, most goons think he got his name because he was a classy passer. Oh, is that what he did? He ate fish and chips every chance he had. Fantastic. Um, Grant the Michelin man. Grant's going down. Jose Ramos gonna do damage. Next season, Werner will be permanent deal or even in January. Werner will not become a permanent deal in either the winter or the summer transfer window. Werner will not be signed next season by Tottenham. The only way that Werner gets signed by Tottenham is if he was to provide, I don't know, 30 goals and assists, then they might look at it. But I remember a player called Adebayor who played for your lot and he played for us. and Adebayor would only turn up when he knew his contract was running out or when the contract was on the line. And we don't need any more players like that, to be honest. Um, Lenny Mac says, Jose Razor Ruddock Chopper Jose. uh, and then you've got fish and chips. I haven't not had fish and chips in ages. I don't understand why Spurs we signed him, in all honesty. There's a lot of people that don't understand either. I honestly think he's going to be a permanent deal. He won't be a permanent deal, mate. He won't be a permanent deal. Anyway, listen, right, it's now coming up to 1:45 in the morning. So this stream has been going for 2 hours and 10 minutes. I am going to call it a night. I want to thank each and every one of you for being in the chat and for making the show what it is. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button on your way out. It'd be appreciated. Tomorrow's shows, I've already said when they're on. So tomorrow's show's the prediction show. So some of the people here, like Just Armless Potato, Dry Roasted Peanut, Dragon D's Nuts, Lenny Mac, Nick Roundtable, if he gets to watch it, and others. If you haven't entered already and you fancy entering it, come tomorrow. Come and enter the predictions. It's good fun. And I need to thank David Shear for his super chat. David Shear for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For David Shear, 10 gifted 10 memberships on today's show. Thank you very much to David Shear. Thank you very much also to Jesse Fan Football Channel for becoming a member of the channel today, or re-becoming a member, because I think she was before. So thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat from Colin Blackshaw for a members milestone super chat, and a members milestone super chat also from Lee Smithy Smith. These are the people that sponsored today's show. So I thank each and every single one of you. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. For those people that are going to bed tonight, and because it's your early Friday morning, I wish you all a restful sleep and a peaceful one at that. For the people that are already into their Friday morning, early in the Friday morning in Australia, I wish you a fantastic day in whatever it is you do on a Friday. And Mr. Shear, I will give you a call tomorrow morning, probably in about 10 hours time from now, about 10ish in my morning. I'll give you a call tomorrow and have them from there. Right, what does he say? What's he saying here? Put them in Jose's community page, then, Angus. I don't know what he means by that. No, it'd be about Kate's show, Angus. Kate's show, I think, is at 12:30 in the morning. I do my show at 4 o'clock. So, but anyway, the dogs are going mad in this house. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I wish each and every one of you, and sorry, and all the people in North America as well. I forgot all the people in North America who are still in their Friday early evening, and that have a really good remainder of your Thursday, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Thank you very much. See you later, everyone. Bye bye. Oh, look, what am I forgetting? My manners, aren't I? I'm forgetting my manners. Come on, you mighty Spurs. In the big Ange, I trust.